So because I know the way that the Transformers community is going to react to this video already, I have to cover my ass a little bit. Before anyone gets up in here like, but stop motion reviewer, then you know it's unethical to steal from a multi-billion-dollar company that exploits child labor to make the products we buy? This figure is available on the mainline market in Singapore with the packaging and everything. So no, I didn't fucking steal this. Can we move on, please? Anyways, on to the review! Alright, fuckers, time to get in some early review clout so my channel doesn't die of starvation. So Legacy is approaching its third and final wave, known as the Evolution line, and continuing to give us some of the most batshit, unhinged, incoherent fuckery to look forward to. But there's just one specific figure that tops off this list more than anyone else. To say Armada Hotshot's one of the most anticipated releases to come out this entire year would be the understatement of the century. I mean, the last modern Hotshot we got was way the hell back in the Universe line, and that figure was a fucking war crime to transform. The original figure was really hated for some reason, despite the fact it was really good in proportion to the technology of the time, and that's pretty much it. That's the entire history of Armada-style Hotshot figures and the history of Transformers. But Legacy's newest rendition of the character came in like a jam jar, hitting a certain Hotshot enthusiast in the face, with a car mode that's hella chunky, dummy thick, slick as shit, and moves like a brick bitch. From the gorgeously painted headlights, stunning silver grille, and giant engine block gun, the front end might be a double-wide surprise, but also looks fast as shit due to the low riding profile and big thick spoilers on this big robo vehicle dumpy.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
These spoilers have an Autobot logo on them, much like the original, and the yellow paint's really sharp and pops right out at you, much like my subscribers. But it kind of varies because of the fact that a good portion of the top of the vehicle mode is made out of clear fucking plastic, which you all know I love, find extremely necessary, and definitely don't break all the fucking time. It isn't blindingly bad or anything, and the plastic feels substantial enough not to break, I think, but the front end of the car can split in half at the front like the original. It's not spring-loaded or anything. Who gives a shit? What I do care about is the quality of this thing, and let me tell you, in comparison to the figures I've gotten recently, this thing feels like an Armada toy, an absolute rock-solid cinder block on wheels that I can actually play with without worrying about shit breaking. Every ounce of space under the vehicle was filled to the brim with chunk, making the figure feel weighty, nicely balanced, and incredible to handle. It's a vehicle that feels like so much love and effort were put into it. Except the wheels, they kinda suck. For some reason the front wheels are fully sculpted and detailed, but because of the dumbest, most epic-tacular weapon on Earth, we'll get into later, they left giant holes in the back axles instead of retrofitting the main wheels to be compatible with blast effects. I guess a cost-saving thing, but it's also a Hasbro being cheap thing. The transformation on Hotshot's actually kind of perfect in terms of how it feels. It's stupid simple like an Armada toy, while also feeling fun and engaging with little to no clearance issues. The tabs on mine, however, are extremely tight, and navigating the windscreen to go through the back of his legs can be tricky to find out if it's your first time transforming it. He does wind up with a backpack, but that's more of a part of the character design than a real issue. I love the chest being hidden underneath the windscreen to avoid paint chipping, much like my fucking nails whenever I try to untab anything. I guess you could say this transformation is my jam? Laugh, you assholes, I'm funny! Hotshot's robot mode is pretty much the perfect Armada update, absolutely radiating big dick energy, looking jacked as shit and still looking like he's trying to resist the urge to say something smart-assy, just barely keeping a stern and serious look for Hasbro's series collector for adults mom sales tactic. I mean, come on, would it have killed them to give him a shit-eating grin, or at least a jam jar? I love the head sculpt on this thing. It's absolutely spot on. With the pair of goggles he can put over his face to make it look like he's on Terminator or some shit. Yes, keeping the 80s cheese while still being the most 2005 figure of all time. He still has his racing harness painted onto his chest with a nice but very thin layer of silver paint. His legs are missing some black painted detail that could have made him a bit more accurate, but given the fact that these are the insides of the doors, it probably would have eaten away at the paint anyway, so I understand why they didn't. but proportionally speaking, I feel like there's some areas where the parts distribution could have been handled a lot better. The backpack's not an issue at all if that's what you're thinking, because that's a part of the design, but the shoulder pads get in the way of the head movement a lot. Peripheral vision, what's that? I always keep them angled up for slightly easier access and because it actually looks kind of awesome that way. But the main issue I have is the fact that the legs have the entire roof of the car on his calves without really having them compress into anything, severely impeding his knee bend and lower leg articulation. I think there were better ways of handling this part of the transformation, but I can't really complain too much. You can move the panels around on the ball joints, but that just makes his legs look like a messy bitch, much like me. Feature-wise, his goggles can go down like the original, but prepare to get absolutely mind-fucked at the most glorious-tastic weapon on the face of the earth, the Axozuka!
Whoa! It's Epic Gamer Hours!
This is the dumbest, goofiest, funniest fucking thing I have ever seen, and I absolutely love it. You can just cram an absolute ass ton of blast effects into it, and you can even remove it like a handheld bazooka. Okay, tell me this isn't the most Rambo shit you have ever seen with a straight face. Try it, bitch. The articulation on the figure is surprisingly unimpeded for the figure's overall proportions, and the joints feel really well balanced, aside from the ankle tilt, which was scary tight at first. There are some areas that could have been a bit better, but I feel like it hits right with the way that he looks when he moves around, and that's more important than the range of motion in my opinion. The quality on the robot mode also still feels rock solid, dense and heavier than a figure of this height has any business being. Either that or everything else has gradually devolved into cheap hollow crap. It feels like such a return to form on Armada quality, while still being modern and original in some capacity, balancing the fan base's wants and desires with elegance, quality, and a genuine love for all facets of the franchise. And sometimes you don't want something to be perfect. Sometimes it's nice to have a Transformer to fall in love with, making cringe sound effects that sound awesome in your head, but dumb as shit in real life. Armada Hotshot is a bastion of originality that we've needed on modern Transformers for a very long time. Unicron Trilogy fans have been so disenfranchised for so many years, and seeing them get modern updates to past characters done this well, despite all the figure's flaws, is an absolutely kick-ass thing to see, and it just goes to show how underappreciated Legacy is, trying its damnedest to find nifty different franchises and giving fans from every generation exactly what they want. It might be a rough start as a toy line, but it fucking knows how to deliver in the grand scheme of things to an impressive degree. And Legacy Hotshot is the shining example of this idea being executed with perfection.